So, I recently went to a wedding, and it was a very close relative of mine, and basically uh, grew up with this person, um, and apparently they don't realize that we have and never really did have anything in common other than we were in the same place at the same time and we shared DNA. But for whatever reason in life, society has these pressures that are brought to bear by parents, by siblings, by other relatives in other situations. You have to do this because it is what is acceptable. Not going is not acceptable. Not being there with a smile on your face is not acceptable. Not showing up and just being so happy is not acceptable. And we end up being forced into situations that we don't want to be in. How many people went to Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter dinner with a family member knowing that it was going to be a disaster, but you went anyway, and it was a disaster? Or maybe it doesn't have to be a disaster. You don't have to get into a fist fight with your uncle, Steve. If you go and the whole time you're sitting there thinking, I could be, in the dentist chair right now, getting all my teeth pulled. I could, you know, be downtown and pay some homeless guy to yank my toenails out with a pair of pliers right now. I would much rather be doing that. Why do we put ourselves in that situation? We have obligations that are put on us by ourselves, but by society too, and our family doesn't help any because, especially in my case, I can't talk to my family about it because um, I'm the black sheep of my family, and I'm the odd man out in my family, and they don't get it. They don't see it. They think everything is hunky dory and that I'm gonna, skip into the sunset with them. When in reality, they have no idea who I am. I have nothing in common with any of them, and it's a complete waste of time for me and for them because they're getting this idea of this view or this world picture that isn't really real. But I know that if I told them that I didn't want to see them anymore or talk to them anymore because it's a waste of my life and a waste of their life too, in all honesty, they wouldn't be able to deal with that very well. And part of that maybe is a cop out on my part. But how do you tell your sibling that other than the fact that you grew up in the same household, there's no reason for you to talk to each other ever again because you have nothing in common? Because you don't really care for them, because you don't really belong in who they are. I mean, my neighbor could have gone to the wedding and had a better time with my family than I did. I'm sure of that. But for whatever reason, we have this idea of what a perfect life is supposed to be like, and then we try to force ourselves and we try to force the people around us into that idea of a perfect life. And life isn't perfect. Life is screwed up. It's really screwed up. And we end up suffering because of it. And the people in our life end up suffering because of it. And really all we're doing by forcing people into things like that is we're forcing them to pretend or lie, basically, to us about how much they agree with us and what we're doing. I don't know that I really want people to force themselves to lie to me so that I can feel better. I don't really care for that. I don't want to do that to other people either. And sometimes it's really hard to carry on in this life, doing the things in this life, knowing that one, it's going to hurt me, or it's going to hurt them, or the entire time somebody is going to be saying, I wish I was anywhere but here. I wish I was anywhere but here. So if any of you are black sheep, if any of you are being forced to go to a wedding you don't want to go to, I feel for you, and I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the choice that we have is go and be miserable, or don't go and deal with the fallout, because there will definitely be fallout, um, especially from the people that want that phony world to continue on because they can't deal with the real world.